If you're considering Puerto Vallarta as a destination, either for a full or part-time move, you may be a little overwhelmed with the neighborhoods and just how diverse this city is. I'm Shasta Townsend. I am the fairy godmother of Puerto Vallarta. I help Americans and Canadians move here with more ease and confidence. And I wanted to share a quick video on some of the neighborhoods that my clients are choosing in Puerto Vallarta. Let me bring up a little map for you. So Puerto Vallarta, it is very diverse in terms of neighborhoods. So if you look at the map, just off here, north of the marina, we have the airport, just to give you some landmarks here. And then coming down from the airport, we get into Marina Vallarta. So this is a neighborhood, like it sounds like, has a marina in Vallarta. And it is where we see a lot of expats moving to. But I will be transparent. This area tends to skew in terms of a little more of a retiree age. So we tend to see 65 years plus. It is a super walkable neighborhood, lots of great condos, lots of great houses, and it can be just slightly conservative. I will be transparent about that. And I'm not saying everybody there is right wing or anything like that. I have great friends that live in the marina, but generally it tends to be a slightly more conservative area when we compare it to other neighborhoods in Vallarta. So it is something to keep in mind. As we go south, again, you can see Hotel Zone. It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's an area of a lot of hotels and resorts. There are some condos across the 200 highway, so not on the ocean side, but it tends to be where we see, again, a lot of tourism, resorts, hotels, that type of thing. Where you may want to consider, and where I have a lot of clients moving into right now, especially clients with children or families, is Fluvial. Fluvial is what I would call a more affluent area of Puerto Vallarta. Here you will see affluent and professional Mexican families, as well as the same for Americans and Canadians. The other thing about Fluvial is that some of the expat schools are located in Fluvial. So there is an expat school in the marina, but there also is expat schools in Fluvial. So a lot of my families are choosing Fluvial or Versalles right now as areas to move into. Fluvial also has larger houses. You'll see 3 or 4 bedroom houses, not in gated communities so much, but on very safe and quiet streets. When we go down into Versalles, this is a very hip and happening area of Puerto Vallarta. You have sensational restaurants, bars, and lounges. I see a lot of solo expats moving into this area, especially between the ages of 30 to 60. Now, are there other people that live there? Of course. But Versalles, is, as one of my clients said, is like the Austin of Puerto Vallarta. So that's the vibe. In another video, I'm going to talk about real estate prices in all of these areas, but I wanted to give you again a quick snapshot of some of the most popular expat areas in Puerto Vallarta right now. And then, of course, there's a variety of different neighborhoods and more local and Mexican neighborhoods. But as we keep going south and we get into Cinco de Diciembre, this is another very popular expat neighborhood. You can see, again, it's right along the ocean, scaling up into the mountains. So I have a lot of clients that love Cinco because, again, you're right next to Centro. You're very close to the romantic zone, Zona Romantica. And we can have some very good price points in this area, and you're right along the ocean. The only caution is you can get into elevation very quickly in Cinco. So if you're okay with that, walking up the side of the mountain or climbing stairs up towards your condo or house, that can be great. But usually most of the places that my clients are moving into are below Costa Rica, Calle Costa Rica. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're looking at real estate online. Where is it located in Cinco? Then we go across into Centro. Of course, it is what it sounds like. It's the central part. It can be very, very touristy. This is where we have the Malecon. The Malecon starts here in Centro. So I don't have as many clients moving into Centro, but there are some really lovely places in Gringo Gulch that have tremendous views of the ocean and also tremendous views up into the mountains. And then south, we get into Zona Romantica. So this is the #1 LGBTQIA destination in Latin America, both for tourism and also for relocation. So great, I call it the happiest place on earth, but the caution with Zona Romantica is that some of the bars and clubs go all night long. So it can be very loud depending where you are in this area. Again, it's a great area to live in, lots going on. You're right along the ocean. And we have one of the most popular beaches, Los Muertos. It's right in Zona Romantica. Then as we go south, we get into elevation and Amapas and Conchas Chinas, but you also get into luxury homes and communities. Really, really beautiful in these areas. You are going to want to have a vehicle, but you often have condos or houses perched up on the side of the mountain and the cliffs with sensational views of the bay. Of course, there's more neighborhoods to explore here, but I wanted to give you an overview of some of the areas my clients are choosing to move into. What will be your neighborhood? Comment below, and please subscribe and hit that bell to be the first to know about the inside track to Mexico and beautiful Puerto Vallarta.